So thank you. New developments tonight as we follow up on those widespread issues inside the Phoenix Police Department after the Department of Justice issued that scathing report. The 126-page report found a pattern of constitutional violations, including excessive force, racial discrimination, and unlawful treatment of people experiencing homelessness. Now, some of the people who say they've had negative encounters with Phoenix police shared their reaction to the DOJ's findings today.
Our Ashley Holden was there listening in on their experiences.
The city owes these families an apology.
Emotions high Friday in a packed law office, community members describing their own or other relatives' encounters with Phoenix police. Some also sharing their response to the scathing Department of Justice report released just one day ago.
This has to stop. When is it going to stop?
The DOJ report outlining years of civil rights violations, from excessive force to retaliating against protesters to racial discrimination. Using years' worth of data, federal investigators found examples like black drivers were 144% more likely to be cited or arrested for low-level moving violations.
And it's stuff that we've been screaming for years.
The cases of some of these families well known, like Trevon Ames.
When I tell you to do something, do it.
He and his pregnant girlfriend, along with their children, stopped and confronted by officers in 2019 over alleged shoplifting. Video of the police encounter going viral.
They validated a little bit of what we're saying.
It's just finally a good feeling to know like it's been reported and documented by the Department of Justice.
The city ultimately settling with Ames's family, paying out hundreds of thousands of dollars. But others say they're still fighting for justice.
We're not shocked because we live here. It doesn't heal any of the injuries that the families had. It just affirms their experience and what they went through.
Ames and some of the families gathering Friday, represented by attorney Sandra Slotin. What can the city do for you to say they're taking this seriously?
We need to see change, like meaningful change, in terms of accountability.
Empathy. There needs to be compassion. There needs to be leadership in a positive direction.
She and others asking for more transparency and quicker response when it comes to obtaining records. Ames and others hoping change is around the corner.
I think if they sign a decree and get monitored and get on the right path, there will be some change that happen.
In Phoenix, Ashley Holden, ABC 15, Arizona.
Thank you, Ashley. The city of Phoenix and the Phoenix Police Department have released an official response to that DOJ report. The city attorney wrote in part, the city of Phoenix and the Phoenix Police Department are materially different than the department that the DOJ investigated, citing a Road to Reform document the city sent to the Justice Department back in January. It goes on to point out projects approved by the Phoenix City Council, like the full implementation of body-worn cameras. The city added it will take a few more weeks to fully digest this report.
We also talked to a man who used to live on the streets but is now in transitional housing. We wanted to hear about his experiences with police after the DOJ report revealed practices at Phoenix PD of unlawful treatment of people experiencing homelessness. He told us something that he says happened to him a couple of times about 2 years ago.
They would wake you up about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, blaring as loudly as they can on their bullhorns, waking everybody up, lining everybody up for what they call warrant checks. They would tell you to grab all of your things, move them to a designated area in about 10 to 15 minutes. Now, it didn't matter if the person was in a wheelchair, on crutches, or not mentally there. They would do this to everybody. And if you didn't do it within that time frame, they would throw your stuff away.
Months ahead of the release of the report, the city of Phoenix held a series of community meetings to get residents up to speed on what they knew of the investigation at that time and on the changes they say that they had made, things like the implementation of new trainings and policies. This is video from that first meeting back in early January at the Mountain View Community Center. And we're following up tonight, speaking with one man who was in attendance all those months ago, who's now sharing his thoughts about that report.
The summary points, talking points of what the report addressed. Pretty serious stuff. And A lot of it I understand, a lot of it I don't quite understand and agree with and don't agree with and stuff like that. I truly believe that just as the PD and law enforcement in general can improve, citizens can.
Well, Richard also adds that he actually volunteers for the department and understands how tough the job of a police officer is. We also want to highlight a part of the report from the DOJ that included this quote: "Despite the unlawful practices, we spoke with dozens of officers and city officials committed to serving the people with thoughtfulness and respect."